Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 47 of the Casual Weebs podcast. This week was honestly on another level. I gotta say, it wasn't just a good week, it wasn't just awesome. We're not just eating. I feel like a lot of the animes that came in the winter season, first of all, there's not a lot of premieres, which is kind of like a bonus, right? Because whenever a premiere, it's awesome. It's like meeting a new friend, and you don't know it yet, but you're gonna be best friends with that person, right? But there's a lot of build up. There's a lot of it's a little slow. You can't just jump right in and have it be action and be on track. But when you have a new season, you can. And Solo Leveling, Apothecary Diaries, Link Click, and so many more are just absolutely abusing that and dropping just absolute god tiers episode 2s or episode 3s, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to get into how amazing Solo Leveling is. Not only do I agree with you guys with the hype, but I actually think you guys are underhyping it. I think Solo Leveling could be even better than what people are saying. Sakamoto Days, even though it was a premiere, that is starting to heat up. I mean, we're going to be getting into it because also I kind of found an anime we talked about in the winter preview because I ended up seeing a top 5 on the internet. And you know me, I got to click on it and, take a look. Like, what's their top 5? And in that top 5, I found one that you guys aren't going to guess, but we scouted and saw in the winter 2025 preview, but we couldn't find it on Crunchyroll. Let's just get into the top 5 first and then go from there. So, you guys ready? Number 5, Sakamoto Days.
Alright.
Dude, I was surprised it was that low, but it's a premiere. The little thing that they have is a decent start with some rough edges, which is kind of slanderous, if you ask me. To put
Yeah,
that,
I'm with you.
that's after episode 1, by the way, guys. They dropped this after Sakamoto Days dropped episode 1, so you're gonna say a decent start with some rough edges one episode? Okay, but you do you. Number 4, this is the one where I'm like, nah. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You Season 2. Like, bro, you pick a fucking harem anime over Sakamoto Days? Are you kidding me? The ultimate
Suspect.
harem comedy anime is back, and now with even more girls, so we kind of know the person that's kind of making this ranking.
Yeah, spot on.
we kind of understand this person, Okay, right? Number 3, Eve Majuka, The Die is Cast. This is Bang Dream. We talked about this in the preview. We're like, holy crap, this guy should be really good. Actually, Blake spotted it, and we're like, we didn't know anything about it. We ended up making the video, but then after we recorded, looked at the trailer on YouTube, we're like, holy shit, this actually looks fucking incredible. And we couldn't find it. We're like, it should have dropped already. Where is it? And we didn't realize that they kind of like changed the name. We thought it'd be Bang Dream and then whatever. But it's Ave Mujika, The Die is Cast. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the second part right, but yeah, they have it at number 3. Crunchyroll bombed it. They said it's like a 3.8 with like a couple thousand reviews, like very low key, but then also very hated on. We're gonna briefly talk about it. Listen, I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm actually saying most of you actually probably not like it. It's got CGI, which I think looks sick in this case, but a lot of people hate that, and it's also a music anime. And for some reason, a lot of people don't like music animes, which I think is crazy because there are some absolute masterpieces out there that are in the music genre. And I actually think they are some of the most beautiful animes because the songs and the music is spectacular. But
Heck yeah.
at number 2, we have the Apothecary Diaries Season 2. And at number 1, we have
Nice.
Solo Leveling. So I'd love to hear from you and you guys in the comments down below what's your top 5 so far of this winter season.
So I'm a little bit biased. Similar list, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a different order. So
Okay.
I did Bang Dream at number 5. Like kind of like you were saying, it's maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a sucker for just music in general. But like the
Yep.
music animes, I think hit really hard, and I've watched enough Bushiroad animes to like I can say I like the art style, the CGI. I think it plays in really well with like the live music, and then you get like songs. You know what I mean? You can jam to them outside of the show. Like I think that's really sick. But hopefully more people catch on to it. And yeah, CGI is not that. It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? People hate on it, but
Yeah.
number 4, I did Honey Lemon Soda. Really cool. I think it's just like kind of laid back. The MC's dynamic with wow, I don't really know who you would call the MC at this point, but like the two MCs, like their relationship is really cute, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, everybody I think can relate to it in a way, kind of trying to break out of your own shell and break out of bad habits. It's like really cool and kind of low stakes. So I've been having fun with that. Number 3, I went with Blue Box. I feel like I'm
Let's
liking
go.
Blue Box. even more now that it's kind of heating up. We're in that second core
Hmm.
versus last season. We're like starting to get into the real like relationship dynamics and um yeah, of course we had a beach episode, sort of not etchy, but we called that. Blue Box has been great. This is like where my bias comes in. Solo Leveling is going to be the top one of the season. Outstanding. I
Hmm.
put it at number 2 because I'm a sucker for Sakamoto Days. I put that at number 1, and I feel like I kind of like the slower start because you can't have this like super legendary character and then just have him come in and
Yeah.
start like dominating right away. But Shin is my favorite character. I love what he does for the show, and like again, I have like some manga experience, so like I kind of know what's coming up in the later arcs and stuff, but it
Hmm.
really heats up really well. But this episode I think kind of showed us some of the themes like the last episode about like Sakamoto and Shin and kind of how they fight and stuff. We got some backstory. So I'm loving it. I think it'll take like a full season to really get moving, hit the ground running, but
Yeah.
so far loving it.
Dude, that's a solid list. Completely different from mine, though.
Oh, all right. I'm hyped to hear it. Let's
So
go.
I'm actually kind of starting the other way around. All right, because my brain can't go from back to up. All right, so at number one, well, first of all, my top three I feel like are solidified, and they aren't really going to be able to be touched this season. I feel like they are going to just stand away from the crowd. They're just going to be like that good. Number one's going to be Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling, just we're going to talk about this episode. Absolutely insane. He is him. It is godly. It's incredible. Number two, Link Click. This season three has been absolutely phenomenal. What they did in season three has been just insane because the first two seasons were very like thriller, very mysterious, very suspenseful, very like I don't know, very driven. You see the first two seasons, they had like the same vibe. Season three has a totally different like vibe than what the first two had. It's still very mysterious and suspenseful, but it's got like this happy with a sorrowful undertone that is just immaculate the way they capture it. And if you watch Link Click, you know why. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good season. It's a good season. Number three has got to
Heck
be the
yeah.
Apothecary Diaries. It is absolutely insane. I was actually gonna put this lower up until this episode because it started off very kind of slice of life, kind of slow, and then we just got hit right back into we're gonna get right into the story and we're gonna have pedal to the metal all season. It's gonna be insane. Like the way that they just jumped back into the story was actually incredible. The story seems very very cool, and I was a little worried that it was gonna have a slow start to season two when this story does seem very very good. So that is going to be an easy number three. The number four has got to be Blue Box. Like you said, the second core has really just kind of ramped it up and kind of just started going. And at this point, I feel like we both just don't know where it's going because we both try to take certain guesses and we're wrong every time. Like
I know.
we're pretty right too. With a lot of like animes, we're pretty spot on with like our guesses. But Blue Box is like we can't get a read on it. And the second core has been giving us the most trouble so far. So that's awesome, very exciting. And then number five, Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days looks
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
awesome. I absolutely love so many of the characters, and especially I'm going to get into it this episode, but his wife is so dope. She actually might be one of the coolest
Yes.
characters. Like I didn't expect her to be so cool. So we're gonna get into a lot of them. Those are our top five. Let us know in the comments below your top five. My honorable mentions too are like Honey Lemon Soda, Bang Dream, Zenshu, all really cool. So with that being said, let's also kind of quickly kind of talk about what is going to be the podcast, for the winter season. We are, of course, going to be talking about every single podcast episode, Sakamoto Days, Solo Leveling, and Blue Box, as they are just hitting so hard, and they are amazing. But also, we're going to have kind of like a rotation, where we're going to talk about a couple of animes every couple of weeks. We're gonna kind of split them up and kind of rotate through them. And when we talk about them, we're gonna be talking about them in kind of like a bunch of episodes, right? Like 3 episodes at a time, kind of thing. And that's gonna be Honey Lemon Soda, Bang Dream, and Zenshu. If you haven't seen those animes, I'd give them a try. You might really like them. They are kind of niche, but they are also really good. Zenshu's actually kind of hilarious because of the irony. It's about an animator who gets animated into her favorite. She gets isekai into her favorite like anime movie, I think it is, and it's funny because it's made by Mappa, and it just jokes around and talks about how horrible the work conditions are. So it's kind of fucked up, but kind of funny, and it is really good, and the animation's solid. Honey Lemon Soda is really sweet. It's one of those animes where, of course, the girl is kind of like bullied, and she's just so sweet, so you hate to see it, but whenever she gets those dubs, it is so satisfying. Her relationship with the male MC is also very different, like you were saying. It's not like the typical relationship you kind of see, which also gets very annoying and predictable. You know, he's like wants to help her, but at the same time, he's also regretting his decision. He's kind of like, you're getting me into a ton of shit now. It's kind of crazy. So it's a new dynamic that you don't typically see. So if you like that kind of stuff, I'd recommend it. And then of course, Bang Dream. If you like music, check it out. If you don't, don't. Simple as that. You know what I mean? If you like music, you're gonna love it. If you don't like music, of course you're gonna hate it. But let's get into this week. I think we got to start with Solo Leveling.
I feel like there's so much going on. Like these first 3 episodes, they've really come out swinging. And I'm like in the same boat as you. I feel like there was a ton of hype heading into the premiere last year for season 1. And like it was good. We enjoyed it. I think it started a little slow, which we've talked about. But season 2 is coming out of the gates with like less hype, and it's incredible. Like every 5 minutes you're like, yo, what? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Solo Leveling is definitely going to be the top anime for Winter 25.
I liked like the little bit of humor we kind of got this episode, right? Because he kind of shows the construction kid like his workers per se, like his army, and the guys go like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, I guess you haven't seen them before. And I love how like they're just brutally like battling, fighting it out, but then it just cuts to them like mining and just be like, oh, like here you go, here's the gems. And I thought that was like so funny. I'm like, bro, he's putting them to work. And I love how like they're like these battle-hardened warriors, but now they're like, oh, like would you like some rocks?
And he literally just like snaps his finger and he's like, all right, time to gather some materials. And everyone's like, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like, we got this. Bro, I thought that was super funny, which then led to, some action where we saw him kind of climb that dungeon or the domain. I don't know what you really want to call it. But that was really cool getting to floor 75. I'm not gonna lie. If he doesn't like spawn back at floor 75, that's gonna fucking suck for him. Having to go up 75 floors again. But that gave us a little taste of what is to come. I like that we're not like kind of moving away from that. We still have the island that we need to kind of focus on as well. But we kind of touched back on the island, I think, maybe because this guy's fucking dad shows up. That is the real thing that kind of got me, kind of blew me away. Is that, like, of course, the episode started with a little bit of humor. Then we got some, ooh, what could this be? What could happen here? Right? That's kind of cool. But then the end of the episode just drops us with this literal bombshell. Because not only were we just sitting here for the past couple weeks talking about, oh yeah, is Jinwoo gonna fight that S rank? No, his fucking father is, and his father's gonna wipe the floor with him. As you just see him hanging there bloody. Like, that was so...
Did he lose an arm?
No,
I couldn't really tell.
It was trapped on the wall.
Alright, I was like, damn. Guy, like, literally had no feats in the show, already lost an arm, but, again, just to reiterate, said it many times on the pod, the deadbeat, strong dad having a strong kid. We love it. We love to see it.
It's the formula to the broken shonen MC. Like
so
it's right there. But it's insane. I actually didn't even think about that when he just kind of like washed up, and it was kind of like this Japanese, hunter. We didn't think it was S rank, right? And they're like, oh yeah, the Americans took him in. And we're like, all right, we're gonna have someone talk with him. And he's like, we find out he's an S rank. We're like, dude, first of all, like, okay, that's Jinwoo's dad. I didn't even see that coming. This was a total shock. But his dad's an S rank and he gave birth to an E rank. Like, that's such a crazy thing. Because, like, you assume since Jinwoo was so weak, he didn't have parents that, like, I guess were, like, strong or were hunters. I mean, his mom's very sick. You know what I mean? So the fact that his dad was a hunter or is a hunter and that strong is fucking crazy. And then, of course, takes Jinwoo's fight from him. Like, what is that?
I feel like before I get into it, I was dying. You're never really ready, since I watch it in subs, for like the random American voice actor. When his dad walks out, the dude just starts screaming. He's like, it's Jesus. Like with the long hair and shit. I thought that was really good, but he doesn't look like Jinwoo, especially like it from season 1. So like as a viewer, I didn't put that together. I'm like, oh shit, that's Jinwoo's dad. Yeah. It's just some buff, long-haired, ripped monster dude. Yeah, and then obviously we start to learn a little bit about him and his backstory, and then you're kind of right. You make a really good point. Like, his mom's really sick. His sister's just kind of like a ordinary citizen. Like, I don't think she's awoken her powers yet.
If she even does.
Yeah, like, so his family was kind of like brought up a little bit, but not in any like great detail or to say like, he comes from a really prestigious lineage or anything like that. So I thought that was a really cool bombshell, and it was nice to see. I think his name's Huang.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough remembering all these like random S ranks and stuff. But
it is.
He's like giving him this attitude. He's like, yo, shut the fuck up. You're going to answer my questions. And then his dad, you see him with the yellow eyes. He's like, no, you're gonna answer my question now. And he like slams the table, just cut to like an absolute bomb going off in the city, and my man's folded up. It was like, yo, he's definitely Jinwoo's dad. So I thought his like introduction into the series super unexpected, beautifully executed.
And this could be even better than like what we kind of think because okay, first of all, he was gone for 10 years in a gate, right? So he went in, it closed, things went bad. He was in it for 10 years, which explains his look. But does that also explain his strength? Because you got to imagine too, if his dad wasn't S rank, he would be rich, and we can tell that he's not doing well. Like Jinwoo, his family has been struggling. It's been a common thing that keeps being brought up, and how they can barely afford, rent and even his mom's medical bills. You know what I mean? So did his dad kind of go in normal and then change? Whether he grew his strength, or did he also meet the same thing that Jinwoo did? Because he knows a lot about these gates and stuff now that no one else does. But Jinwoo kind of does because he understands that there's like this guy that kind of is controlling some stuff. But now his dad's coming out and he's like, "Oh hey, like how much do you guys know? Like you guys do know that there's so much more below this. Like the gates and these monsters, it's just a tip of the spear, and that there's a catastrophe coming." So, a couple things there. I think, I think that there's okay. This is gonna be like with Kaiju 8, where we went too far off the reservation. We're completely wrong. I think the
Yeah.
catastrophe he's talking about is Jinwoo, and we kind of talked
Ooh.
about that from season one. How this thing is giving him powers and manipulating him and kind of telling him, "You do what I say or you're gonna die." Because he tried to go against the machine multiple times and he almost died for it. So we talked about what if this thing makes him kill people, and it has, and he doesn't really care anymore. And like, what if he kind of has, like, what if this thing's not a friend of humanity and is kind of against it? You know what I mean? So I'm kind of thinking, what if there's another guy that Jinwoo kind of met, but his dad met, and it's an opposing force, right? Maybe it's one that's
Really
for
interesting.
humanity, and it kind of gave him powers, and we're kind of like, hey, there's someone on your Earth that's going to ruin everything. You need to stop him. He even said, he's like, I'm here to stop the catastrophe. And Jinwoo kind of seems like a catastrophe.
That's a really, really good take. The man is cooking. I like it.
I'm
Um,
probably so far off. I wasn't Kaiju 8, so I could be here.
nah, I like that because he just kind of touches on it, but we also got some of that in episode 2 of the second season where
Mm-hmm.
he's like, that's whatever the third or sixth person I've killed. Like, it's starting to become kind of normal and easy for him to just kill regular people.
Yeah.
So he kind of like grappled with that very briefly, at the end of that episode. But now we get Jinwoo's dad. Did we get a name for him? Not that I would remember it anyway, but
I don't know. I have no
yeah, like
idea. I'm so
that
bad with
interview
names.
scene. Yeah, it's like pretty quick before they pop off and
Mm-hmm.
he beats that ass. But like, he brings up like how much does the public know about these magical beasts? Like it doesn't matter how strong you are, how many hunters there are, how many S ranks there are, like it's just not gonna matter. So I think just with that statement, I really like where you're going with that because Jinwoo's the only one who can constantly increase his power level and add new skills and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And obviously the White Tiger Guild's coming after him. He's already got some like really big names looking into him. So I think that is a really good idea because until we know like what's at the island or whenever he conquers this dungeon or domain, where he fought the Cerberus and all that stuff, he's going to be stronger than everybody else. I think it's kind of, easy to assume that given the story and like the MC's abilities and all that. But once we know what's up with the island, he might be the only guy strong enough, or him and his dad to compete with whatever is going on there because those monsters caused another huge incident that we still really don't know too much about. Just that there were some casualties, some A and S ranks didn't make it back. So like, I would assume maybe that's where we're gonna go in season 2, get some more of that. But there's a lot of things at play too between this dungeon, the island, kind of the drama between the S ranks and then the guilds, all kind of competing for Jinwoo before he blows up in fame.
Because that's the thing that you said too. You can't level up. You can't just get stronger and then increase your rank. You can have an awakening, which is super, super, super rare, but that just takes you to another certain rank, and then you're kind of just stopped there. And I think you even said that no one has ever like awakened to S rank. You know what I mean? So again, if we go back to the
True.
theory of Jinwoo's dad not being an S rank before he got trapped in the gate, well, then he had to have gotten something that Jinwoo did, because even being there for 10 years, even somehow making it, through all that and surviving it, you wouldn't just naturally level up. You wouldn't just naturally be able to beat the shit out of an S rank like that with, like, no
Yeah,
difficulty. Because even said, like, S ranks, oh, their battles, we've always heard that they can, like, change the terrain. But thank God this one ended so quickly. Like, he just, like, one tapped them pretty much. So there has to
just
be a connection there where his dad also got that same kind of power of leveling up, because his dad's way above an S rank. And then again, he keeps talking about a catastrophe, but I have a feeling that that's going to be Jinwoo, because like you're saying, he's going to get to a point where he just keeps leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, where it's like, who can take him on? Like, I don't see him being good. You know what I mean? Especially with all the killing he's doing and the way he's kind of handling things. He's kind of just amassing people into people are a tool to him now. They're not people.
yeah, very good point. I think he'll grapple with that. That'll be a big theme in season
Mm-hmm.
2. Trying to retain his humanity and like who he is. Um, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot going on that we're like really just starting to get into now. Stuff from season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other big thing I would say is like a good piece of evidence for this theory. The classmate, the E rank girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they're setting her up for an awakening or second awakening or whatever it is to become stronger. Otherwise, she has no real purpose. A to Jinwoo, but B to our story. Like she's just a side character. But I do think she'll like once we get some more information about what's happening and we get into like Jinwoo's dad's backstory and stuff. I think she'll become a bigger part. I think she's kind of like a key player in season 2. Just guessing, but I kind of have that feeling.
I wonder. Yeah, I really wonder, because I don't know how she fits in, and we just keep having more people that are added, where it's just like it's becoming
Or like
crowded.
fodder. Yeah, like the construction kid, 0 skills. He's just like
Yeah.
kind of like a bankroller for Jinwoo, which serves both of their purposes. And like obviously he got his dad's permission to take over the
Yeah.
guild and go after Jinwoo. But yeah, there's a lot of characters that are like, I guess without getting too crazy into power scaling and stuff, they're like well beneath Jinwoo. So like, 10 weeks from now when we're closing in on the end of the season, like those people don't feel or those characters don't feel like they'll be making an impact or be like an asset to Jinwoo.
Well, speaking of, his fight with humanity, I mean, his little moment with that construction kid at the restaurant was sweet. That was really nice. The way
Oh,
that
good,
his,
dude.
his buddy got drunk and he's just like, oh yeah, like I've never really had a brother. My brother's an asshole. Like I always looked at you as one. He's like, you know what? From now on, I consider you my little brother. He's like, no way. It was like, oh, dude,
He's
that's
so good, dude.
so
He's all like
sweet.
banged up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. So even in the middle of like these crazy fights and insane dungeons and shit, like you still have some like good wholesome moments and like yeah, Jinwoo's still a good guy deep down. I think we kind of touch back on he's looking for the elixir of life to help with his mom. Like
Hmm.
there's a lot of plot points going on. So if I was Jinwoo, I'd be stressed the fuck out. Man's
Yeah.
got a lot on his plate, but
Loki,
he's got the ability to deal with it.
exactly, like Loki, I'm a little stressed out, like watching it, because there's just so many things to keep
Yeah.
track of, so many people. It's like, oh my god, like when's his father-son reunion? Because strength knows strength. They're gonna see each other and instantly know you're strong as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're up to something, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like I know your secret, because like, bro, he's gonna see his kid. And be like, I thought you're like some deadbeat E rank. Why are you kind of like close to me? You know what I mean? And then he's gonna
That'll
see
be
his
really
dad.
interesting.
Yeah, and then he's gonna see his dad and be like, "How did you get so goddamn strong?" Like, I wonder if they're gonna fight together. I don't know if they're gonna fight against each other. It's probably gonna be some typical shonen bullshit with father son, where they're gonna avoid each other until like season 4. You know what I mean?
It's like Gon's dad, big Hunter vibes.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be him chasing his father the whole goddamn time. But I'm
He's
very
like
excited
never
to see.
brought him up. So like I don't think Jinwoo I don't he doesn't care is not the right way to say this, but like I don't think his dad is on his radar.
He
He's like,
doesn't
man, I
know.
really
Yeah.
miss my old man. Yeah, it's like not something he's thinking about, but that'll definitely come up soon, especially with the S rank that he just mauled.
Like, I kind of like Loki want to go back to season 1 and see if there's any like crumbs talking about his father, if his father was a hunter, and if he even brings up like, oh yeah, like years ago my father got trapped in a dungeon, in a C rank dungeon or B rank or
Or
something
he
like
could just
that.
think like, oh, he disappeared. Like, dad just, mom got
Yeah.
sick and then dad dipped out on us, or they think he's dead or something. But I bet you, kind of when they go over his mom's situation, they might talk about it. But I don't remember any instances of his dad, and certainly not like being, S or above rank.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm like want to know. Like, they even bring him up. Like, what do they kind of say about him? Like, who does Jinwoo thinks he is? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta say though, for like an introduction to a character, top tier, like up there
Yeah.
with like Kaido in One Piece, just really well done, really unexpected, and like there's that build up too, and like that fucking Hunter is so annoying the way he talks to people because he thinks he's the toughest. Just poetic justice seeing him get served.
Oh my god, dude, he got his ass handed to him. The poor Americans, bro. The poor Americans are like, what the fuck is going on?
It's Jesus.
For
It was
real.
so funny.
Dude, so it's funny because I watched both subbed and dubbed, so I didn't realize it for like the first like 15 seconds. I'm like, oh wait, they're speaking English. Like if you're saying that, like it caught you off guard. For me, like it kind of blended for me, and then I realized I'm like, oh, like that's actually really funny. I didn't even pick up on. It. I'm like, oh, I guess like because we kind of brought up. I was looking to type that one guy's name, the guy we're talking about. And I instantly fucking forgot because I was gonna put his name in a
Yeah.
short, for the title. And I saw that there's like a bunch of different like American S ranks, Chinese ones, Korean ones, Japanese ones. And I was like, dude, like they look so cool and have all these names. I don't remember like seeing him, but I thought it was like so cool that when I saw the Americans, I was like, oh, we're gonna finally meet like one of the American S ranks because we were just fucking talking about that. Some of them look
Give us
dope.
some like, yeah, some stars and stripes, type heroes. I'm all about it. I feel like
R.I.P.
Americans are always, yeah, rip. They're always
Shit.
kind of like that, portrayed like a certain way, but I feel like it would fit in well with like the egos and the guilds and stuff.
Yeah, like I can't wait. To be fair, there only like there's a couple of them, so I don't think we're gonna deal with America. It seems like it's gonna be Korea and Japan that we deal a lot with.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm really excited though. I feel like for all the action and great stuff we've got, there's still so much room to grow. Like I just can't see how this doesn't absolutely dominate the winter season.
Yeah, it has to be like number one. And like I said, dude, like the my top three, but even like everyone's top fives. I mean, they gotta just be so far ahead. Like there's so many animes that are just so good. Like
Heck
that's
yeah.
insane. Like I think Sakamoto Days is just fucking awesome, and that was my number five. You know what I mean? Because there's just four that are just like steps above where they're just insane. To be fair, he got Sakamoto Days got kind of screwed because it's a premiere compared to like it's hard to premiere to compete with something that's dropping a new season. But like this season's absolutely insane. Should we actually just get into Sakamoto Days?
Yeah. I felt like this episode, I mean, we did I have like a bunch of shit I want to say. So let me organize my thoughts here.
All right.
I feel like this episode kind of gave me like a TV drama type feel. Like you're meeting baddies, they're kicking ass, like kind of slice of lifey, but it doesn't feel like this like Hitman anime, which I kind of like. Like it's a little slower paced.
Yeah.
We're not getting too much too fast, which I think lends itself, to a season 2 or 3 that would be really, really well done. And like, you're able to execute the writing a little bit better of the manga. I really like that. I think Shin is like a 10 out of 10, like side character, like, whatever you want to call it, like buddy.
Yeah.
Because he obviously admires Sakamoto, and like in the middle of that fight, he's like putting on the bandage, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, you're like icy hot pack on your neck." Like you get the comedy, and like in the middle of those fights, I think it was extremely well done. Even if it's not like maybe the most action-packed anime out there, but
Yeah.
very tough to compete with stuff when you have like solo leveling you're going up against.
Dude, that was so funny. You have these two serial killers. They do the ultimate attack that no one survived. Oh, Mr. Sakamoto, you got a cut on your hand. Let me get that for you. like
And
he's
like
alive.
right after that, they show like or right before it rather, these two like psychos. They're like drawing the people they killed with their heads on sticks, and
Yeah.
then they're like drawing them. I'm like, yo, these guys are nuts.
And yet Sakamoto just dodges everything, and then just like just one little scrape, and then of course Shane comes in. Oh my God, Mr. Sakamoto! Like I got you. Don't worry. It's just you're right. It's just so funny in like, this intense situation. Dude, like you said, so many things to talk about. We met Lou. Dude, she seems dope. I think she's a part of it, right? She was in the. I think she was in the the. I forget what you're gonna fucking call it. Words do not work for me today. The
You
cover
know?
art. Yeah, the cover art, right?
Yes.
So she's in that. So I guess she's gonna be a part of their crew, which is gonna be really cool. She's like an awesome character.
Yeah, and like her backstory is really dope too, with like the assassination of her clan and all that. And she comes from like a mob family,
Yeah.
yakuza type family. I think she is a mainstay. I read like a chunk of one arc, but I stopped reading it for the anime just so I don't ruin anything. And I
Yeah.
only know the character with the gun who's like sitting on the roof in the cover art. Like I know he's kind of like a main part of the squad, but other than that, I don't really know them. But she, yeah, came in super hot. Obviously, destroys the heavenly steamed buns or whatever, but she makes up for it with a pretty good introduction.
Well, it was, dude. Okay, so going back to Shin, like him him and his abilities, like he's got to be so good with him. So he wants to hide it, right? So like he reads people's minds, but then he has to play dumb. At the end there, when she got the bottle and she kind of read the card and she kind of read that, it was like so fucking sweet, by the way, because it was so cool. Because like she's from a mob family, so you think they're just awful people, but her dad teaches her to live a life of happiness, not to hold grudges. You know what I mean? Like the best way to get back at someone for holding a grudge, having a happy life. You know, just moving on and just being you. In the fact that his prized possession that he left in that safe was a bottle of alcohol that he was going to share with her when she comes of age, when she's able to drink. And I'm like, dude, that's so fucking sweet. And I love how he heard her read it and was kind of, I think he did. I assume he did. And he was just kind of like, oh, like, what does it say? She's like, nothing, just that it's for real good alcohol, so we should share it. He's like, sounds good. You know, he just kind of plays along. I thought that was so, like, just so sweet of him. And, you know what I mean? And I love how like he doesn't abuse his powers for like bad. You know what I mean? How he doesn't like use it to take advantage of people, like what they think, from what they think. You know what I mean? And he just, I don't know. He seems like a really down to earth, cool character. And Sakamoto imagining killing him every 15 seconds is going to be the funniest continuing joke throughout the entire series.
Dude, he brings up, he's like, oh, yeah, you killed all those guys right in front of his wife. And then you just see him with like the two pens in his neck. He's like, yeah, shut the hell up, Shin.
No,
So good.
well, dude, it's so funny because it was in that moment too where he's talking about he's like killing him. He's like, dude, he's like, why do you always talk about why do you always think about killing me? He's like, because you never shut up. And I was like, dude, that's so funny. But yeah, going back to that scene, so he literally says like, oh, Mr. Sakamoto, like you iced all those guys, and his wife turns around and is like, iced? And I'm like, oh, like dude, that was like the breaking point for me. So like, does she know? You know what I mean? Because she's like this super happy, just wonderful woman. They have this kid together that's just, you know, you can just tell, like, I feel like he would, like, shelter them from it. And she's like, are you killing people again? I'm like, she knows? Like, I don't know why. That's, like, the coolest thing to me. I don't know, like, I hate, like, the secrecy that sometimes happens, especially like, with Spy Family. You know what I mean? We talk about with Anya's powers. The fact that, like, Sakamoto is, like, Spy Family without the secrets, where, like, the family knows of each other's, like stuff, like everyone knows that Shin's a clairvoyant who can read minds. You know, she knows that Sakamoto used to be like this world's greatest assassin. You know what I mean? You know, I think that that's so awesome, and then that brings up their backstory, which I thought was just so incredible. And I love how that's like their number one house, like family rule: no killing people anymore. And she's like, or I'll divorce you, and he's like, divorce? Like, I'm so sorry. I love how like she holds like the gun in the family. You know what I mean? She has all the power.
So good. And like his like eyeglasses crack when she's like, divorce. He's just like, no, no, no. But they're really awesome. I'm totally with you. Like, I enjoy Spy Family, but like the secrecy of their dynamic and who they really are, I hate that because I want more of those interactions, and Sakamoto Days does it really well. I know, like, so like the fight in the kitchen, Sakamoto's just using whatever he has around him, tables, wood, like cooking utensils. That's like a huge theme. Like, they get into it later in the anime and obviously the manga. Like, you have to be good at something. Shin has clairvoyance. Like, that's his weapon. Some guys are swordsmen. Some guys are sharpshooters. Like, Sakamoto's thing is that he's good with everything. He's super resourceful, and like, even if he doesn't have a weapon, he's always like armed and dangerous. Which, I don't know, just like a trope like that is really cool. He's not like, don't get me wrong, I love Goku and I love Dragon Ball, but he's not just like Goku where, you know what I mean, he adapts to every situation because he's just that guy. Like, he makes use of his environment, and I think that's really cool. And like, Shin's really cool because like, or just everybody's kind of like, that's their power. They don't have, amassed this crazy list of like abilities or stuff. Like, they're good at what they're good at. And I think it kind of makes you like refine a character more as you continue writing the story, because like they have to still be entertaining and be good at what they do. And again, with like a little bit more extra knowledge, I think they do Shin incredibly well. Super, super cool.
Yeah, I absolutely love his character. I think it's sick. And like, is that like the one downside of Sakamoto Days? That like is kind of like, I loved Spy Family going into this, but they're doing certain things where I'm like, hey, why is the Spy Family doing that? You know what? Is Spy Family all that good? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I still love Spy Family, but like, it's just crazy how they take a lot of things that Spy Family does, and I feel like just kind of does it better. Because I didn't realize I didn't really like that secrecy until I saw this. Because like, you love Yor and Lloyd, right? and
Yeah,
you want to see those moments where they kind of like go out on dates. You want to see the romance side of it a little bit, but like because of the secrecy, you kind of never see that. And then it's always kind of like that barrier between everything because then Anya holds the secret too that she can read minds, and it kind of just feels like because of that they'll never be that close that we want to see that we see with Sakamoto Days. We see how Sakamoto and his wife are, very close. They hold no secrets. She knows everything. You know what I mean? And because of that, she holds the real power in the relationship. Because if she divorces him, it's over. It's GG's. My guy is cooked, right? But then we also know about Shin's clairvoyance. You know what I mean? And everyone kind of knows about that. So like I don't know, like the transparency is just like very very cool that they do.
yeah. I think Spy Family would like heat up and be a little more intense and serious if we had,
Yeah.
a little bit, if everything was out in the open more, or even just with the family. Um, but Sakamoto Days definitely changes. Like I don't know when, because I've like missed a bunch of the manga to not spoil it.
Yeah.
But like once you bring in some of the like the key villains and like assassins and stuff, it really does start to change and get more serious and like I think more intentional with like, yeah, this whole rule of not killing people. Well, how are you going to beat the best assassins in the world if you can't kill anybody? And
Yeah.
like the side characters kind of like struggle with that. Like where the manga's at now, it's like really cool, but it's cool to see the beginning and then like kind of where it's at and how much it changes and like how the stakes get higher and stuff, which I guess you could say about any anime, but there's a reason Sakamoto Days I think is like a huge shonen right now, and it's just something they do extremely well that you've seen other animes do pretty well, but I think they kind of excel at it.
Dude, like I don't know, it just makes me so excited to see more because I can see like
Yeah.
where this hype's coming from. I really enjoy it. It's been like great. So it's like, yo, I got faith. I trust. You lead the way. I'll be there. I'll follow. You know what I mean? So
Hell
I
yeah.
just can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store for us. And then we are getting a kind of like a part two. You said we're getting season 2 later in the year.
July. I was literally thinking that. I'm like,
Yeah,
do I know this for sure? I want to say Dandanon comes back in July and Sakamoto Days. So
yeah.
summer will be Peaktober Part 2.
What a duo. What a duo right there.
And it's like as a fan, like I'm really excited. People won't like, not that they forget about it, but like you don't have that big layover of like a Jujutsu Kaisen or
Yeah.
something like that because they've prepared enough ahead of time, which I think will really pick up in that second core. So very excited for that too.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely awesome. I'm really excited, and it's gonna be great. But should we go to Blue Box,
Yeah, dude, starting to
dude?
heat up, man. And we
Uh,
got our beach episode sort of.
yeah. Okay. So things have finally started cleared up, right? We go to the beach. He shows her a good time. It's her birthday. She's stressed out. She got voice captain. Congrats. You know what I mean? That's huge. That's
Very
awesome.
big.
To be honest, I feel like she just absolutely deserves it because I feel like she was just leading the team in general. Like they were all already leaning on her and depending on her. So I feel like this was just kind of like she should have expected it. Like it, yeah, you can see it coming, but you know, she's really worried about that. That was a whole scene, and he's like, all right, yo, like let's go somewhere. She's like, all right, bet. So they end up going to the beach, having a great time. It was just super wholesome, super sweet, and then they end up getting what rained out. There's like a mudslide, so they have to like stay the night together, which was interesting. Taiki's, he's a delicate flower. All right, he gets a
Yeah.
little he gets a little nervous. He gets anxious easily. It's all right, bud. It's all right. So it ended up kind of being sweet though because you can tell that it what's it called? It closed up some loose ends that we had prior, but then opened up some new wounds, some new problems that we're gonna see ahead. Because first of all, he brought up the whole situation with the festival. That like, hey, I said I was gonna go in a group. It made it look like it was a lie. It wasn't. I swear. We had other people that come in that this last minute. I don't want you to think that. And she's like, oh, like it's all good. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. Because that was the thing that we were gonna bring up. That was like gonna be a problem. That like she heard him. She heard Shinatsu heard Hina confess to him. And then also she always thought he lied. So we're like, oh, what's this gonna be like? Is this gonna be like a mess? Is she gonna like want to leave or hate him? But that got cleared up. They're good now. She then apologized for saying that she wanted distance between them, which was huge because we said that was kind of like crazy that she did that. That caused a lot of problems. So they're like back at square one. Like they're good now. But her friend heard his voice. So that's going to cause some problems down the line. We just know that for a fact. So what if the school finds out about them?
I don't know. I think it would be really interesting. I think a lot of this stuff, and like you were saying, Shinatsu kind of clears the air. Like she's really stressed, and like once she gets on that phone call with her mom, she's like, yeah, you know what I mean? You have good teammates, you have good friends and family around you. Like, you have to learn to rely on other people and trust in other people. And then, of course, our delicate flower Taiki shows up. And it was cool how she, like, sent him that thing from the aquarium, the little emoji or sticker, whatever
Yep.
you want to call it. So, like, Taiki, I think, plays, like, perfectly into it. Like, very strong friend, doesn't make things awkward. Like, he might feel that way, but he does a good job of, like, kind of like diffusing the situation. And through this whole event, I feel like Chinatsu, kind of was like, yeah, I'm being dumb, and kind of like rectified that. But also, like, she can like trust Taiki, like they're comfortable with each other, they're good friends. Like, I think she can appreciate that. Like, yeah, she has the basketball team, but it is a little different with their home situation. I think if the school finds out, it would make things really tough for Chinatsu, because it's like, oh, you know, this super popular girl, is she dating? You know what I mean? She's living with a boy. Like, I feel like for Taiki, it would kind of be like clout, and it'd be like, hey, like, good job, Taiki, but like, it would make things awkward for them.
It would be like the Horimiya situation. Do you remember that?
Yeah, like in the beginning.
Yeah, when everyone found out about them and they're like, "Oh my God, Hori's dating him." I didn't know she was
Yeah,
like, stooping down trying to do some charity work. Like if she was someone that desperate, like I'm available, and they really kind of like shit on them both and like kind of made them both feel awful. And that's when Miyamura went out, got the glow up, and shit on them all. You know what I mean? But like, I think we can see something like that where like it wouldn't necessarily be like clout for Taiki, but like kind of people being like, "Oh, she'd stoop that low." You know what I mean? Like him, like he's that
yeah,
guy.
especially being older too, and like she makes that comment, I'm 17 now, you know, you're only 15.
Yeah.
Um, Not that it's like a big deal, but it like, I don't know. We've watched enough anime. I know how the school would react. I don't go there, but you know what I mean? People would be judging. There would be rumors. I've seen enough classroom anime. And I think that would make things awkward and harder for Chinatsu with the pressure that she puts on herself.
Yeah.
Where Taiki, I think he would get stressed out just because it's involving her. I don't think he would necessarily care that much.
I feel like he'd buckle and do the wrong things for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Kind of like the shit
Yo,
that
you're on
he.
fire today. I like it.
Bro, I'm sleep deprived. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And maybe that's the key.
But like, I feel like that's a common trend with him, where like he like tries to like think of her and like do the best thing for her and has her best interest in mind, but he has a very poor execution of it. Where like he like when they wanted to go home together, right? And she's like, all right, like let's walk home. He's like, actually, you go ahead. I'm gonna wait here because like that'd be weird if people saw us together. Like I get like you don't want like, people like to know because then you don't want to put pressure on her, but then that like makes her feel awkward. Like, hey man, like it would be weird for me too, but like I still want to walk with you. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like makes her feel bad. Where it's like, oh, like you don't want to walk with me. Like okay, like cool. You know what I mean? I feel like he instead of like embracing her and kind of being like, hey, like people know like we live together, like we're friends, like we got this, like I'll be your friend, I'll be by your side, I'll support you. He'd put distance between them, so not only is she getting shit, but now she's alienated by him.
Which, like, that's kind of where they're, I guess, a little bit emotionally immature. They can't
Yeah.
just kind of face that stuff, which is like part of like, you know, high school romance. It's always a little trepidatious to figure out. But I think at this point in the story, they've got enough friends. You know, you've got Hina, you've got Kyo, you've got Haru, you have Haru's girlfriend who's close with Chinatsu. You know, the basketball team, like, I think if this did become an issue of like, oh, are they dating? Will they live together? Like, they have enough like good standing with these people that it's like, yeah, Taiki's a good guy, and like, you know, Chinatsu's just living with the family and all that. Like, I would hope their friends would be able to make that a little easier for them. But you're definitely right. Taiki does kind of like fumble a lot, even though his intentions
Yeah.
are good. But I think it is kind of on Taiki to be like, it does, you know, it doesn't matter what people think. Like, we'll just walk home. It's no big deal. But until he takes that next step, like, I don't know what that catalyst is for him to get confident enough to like maybe make a move like that.
I know what it is, and I'm gonna hate it, bro. It's gonna be Hina. She's gonna be the good person, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, bro." She's gonna take him aside, be like, "I'm a girl. I know how they think. You're fucking up. Here's how you fix it. Go get the girl, bro." And then she's gonna walk away crying, and we're gonna be like, "Taiki, you're such a piece of shit, but this is how it goes. This is how they're written."
I
You know
know.
what I mean?
It's so true, bro. Best girl, Hina.
Yeah.
You're so right. I know it's gonna happen.
She's
But like,
yeah.
and they're already friends. Like, they had a friendship well before
Mhm.
Chinatsu came into the picture, and Chinatsu's just like the pretty popular girl, like he's chasing.
Yeah.
It's a fumble. Go after the girl that likes you, not the girl you like. It's a proverb, I'm telling you.
That's great advice. There's so many
I was
guys
gonna
make that
say,
same mistake.
yeah, and like, you know, just those life lessons you learn in anime. Good stuff.
Yeah, but sadly, it seems like it's gonna be that way. Especially because she even said where it's like, oh, like you're not gonna like I'm gonna pursue her. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna stop you. Like, go for it. You know what I mean? It's like it's the writing on the wall. Where she's gonna leave that door open, and then he's gonna like kind of go for it. He's gonna create that scene, and she's gonna have to be the one that steps in and kind of helps him out, and in the process, severely hurt herself. But she's pretty much pushing the guy she likes into someone else's arms.
Yeah, and I think she has the ability to do that because of her friendship with Taiki,
Hmm.
and like nobody wants to be second. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think it's cool. He's like, I'm still gonna chase her. Like she's the girl I like, but Hina's being a really good friend and putting her dreams and stuff aside and who she likes aside to like support her friend, which I think is awesome. Hopefully that helps Taiki grow into a more confident, more direct MC, but I do
yeah.
have my doubt.
I wonder what Kyo is cooking up because we saw him outside the doors listening to them when Hina said that. So I wonder what's been
I
going on there.
I saw something I wish I didn't. I don't know enough about it, but yeah,
Uh,
Kyo he gets his little arc. He's got some screen time.
oh, in
He's not.
Batman or with the ladies? Should
We'll
you
have to wait and
say?
see.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Don't say, don't say, don't say. Okay.
It's just like you scrolling through Instagram and it's like, sweet, nice spoiler. Glad I saw that. You were definitely smart to get rid of Instagram, dude.
Literally, why I got rid of Instagram. I'm like, I'm done. It's not worth it. I'm.
Because your fucking phone listens to you and it's like, okay, they're talking about Blue Lock. Here's a or Blue Box. Here's a solo leveling spoiler. Like, I hate it, dude. I hate it.
Bro, it fucking sucks. And the people that post them, screw you, man. Like you evil son of a bitch.
I feel like the unspoken rule is like, if you're gonna post on Instagram, you post like the spoilers ahead, and
And
then if you
then
swipe, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you if you swipe. It might be an accident, but whatever. But like the just random spoilers or like straight raw manga panels of like a big moment. It's like, yo, what are we doing here?
But like, I guess that's like the thing with manga is that like the manga people are like, oh yeah, that's dope. Keep posting that. We love this. You know what I mean? And the anime watchers, we're just the little brothers. You know what I mean? I mean, it just nothing matters. Like the hand me downs. It fucking sucks for us, but it is what it is. At least we still get solid anime.
Yeah, you're nobody's gonna want to be around me when Kagurabachi comes out. I have like 15 of the last manga panels just saved on my phone. I'm like, this is cool. I like this. I want to get this tattooed. So I'm guilty. I can't say anything.
Bro, Kagurabachi better come out quick. I can't wait for that. It's gonna look awesome.
So excited, dude. I'm like really hyping it up, but I feel like I was like on it pretty early when it was like a meme and almost got like
Yeah.
canceled. They almost let it go. But we're here. We got an anime.
Dude, that's awesome. Isn't that like scary when you find something early and like you really like it, and then you start hyping it up and you're like, maybe I overhyped it up. Like, be careful when watching it because like if someone watches like link click now, I have to be like, okay, listen, bear with me here. I might have gone overboard. You know what I mean? Just because I talk about it so much and like just in such like a high regard, then you get nervous.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, maybe I overdid it.
Yeah, dude, so true. I feel like we have pretty good taste though. Not to be that guy, but we know what the people like for the most part.
Yeah. Hey, we got a playlist of sleeper animes. You should check it out. I'm telling you, they're animes that we binged because they're so good. They're not just sleepers. They're bingeable animes. They're awesome.
I'm still thinking about Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. That was a banger, dude.
Dude, so many of them. I mean, the Witchcraft Works. That one's fucking awesome
Yes,
too.
that's always the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Dude, I mean, I don't know what to say, bro. Like, there's so many of them that just hit and that are really good, and so many more to come. So many more to
Yes.
come.
I feel like as fun as it is watching like the premieres and like, I'm excited for the new Fate stuff whenever at some point this year when we get it.
Yeah.
Like those series, are gonna hit Demon Slayer, JJK, all that stuff's automatic. But like when you find a good sleeper anime, it's like, or like music, you find like a good low key band nobody knows
Yeah.
about. Like you just got to tell people about it. You got to bring some awareness to it. So definitely looking forward to the sleepers we find this year.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And like, I want to do something too in tandem with the sleeper animes where we focus on big animes as well. And so we can like talk
Yeah.
about them as well. I feel like that'd be really cool, but just finding a creative, fun way to do it because like I'm watching Bleach, you know what I mean? And like we're getting to
Oh,
certain parts where like it's so sick. So yeah, like talking about some of the big three animes and other huge animes that are out would I think be fun, but just finding a cool way to do it, kind of like sleeper animes, finding a unique way to kind of like talk about or focus on some of the larger animes out there would be cool as well.
once you finish like the main chunk of Bleach, I would like to do a video and then we can like talk about what you thought about Bleach. And then I want to watch Thousand Year Blood War and then do a video on that. just because like the transition in quality and like story and pace is totally different. I'd love
Yeah.
to like get your like before and after comments about it.
So I don't want to have to go too much into this, but how many episodes of Bleach are there? Okay,
350 maybe?
366. So I'm at like episode 90, but I just finished Golden Kamui, so I can put more time into it. But yeah, I mean it's hitting up, and I'm really starting to love it. So like I'm gonna like hopefully finish it sooner than later. I mean, nipping on Hulu doesn't help, but like I am really excited about it. And I think that
True.
that's an awesome idea, doing a little before and after, especially because too, there's probably some questions I have. Like right now, his that demon thing inside of him is pissing me off because whenever it comes out, bro, that thing's godly with the sword. And then you have Ichigo who holds it like he's like it's scared it's gonna bite him. Like that dude comes out, he's like swinging it, and I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome. Like I want
I
him to be the
cannot
MC.
truly cannot wait until you get to Thousand Year Blood War because I feel like they don't do a good job of giving
Yeah,
you who Ichigo is, Ichigo's parents, what the
yeah.
fuck is inside of him. But like you do get that in Thousand Year Blood War. So like you just have
Wait,
to
it's
watch like
that long?
oh yeah, like I guess we do
Dude.
meet his dad in the beginning, but like you don't get any like real lore for Ichigo. And like once you get deeper into it, like Ichigo's a very important person in the world of Bleach because he's
Yeah.
like the whatever half reaper or whatever. Like that, you literally have to watch like 400 episodes of the anime, and then Kubo's like, all right, I'll tell you the secrets. But it's kind of cool. It keeps you coming back.
Wait, so you said halfway through Blood War, not even halfway through the anime?
No, I think it is in the first.
Okay, the what I'm watching now, so the original.
Mhm. No, it's in the first like season or core of Thousand Year Blood War.
Because when you always talked about that, because I was like, I know nothing about, we know nothing about him. They literally give you nothing. I don't, we meet his family, but we don't know anything about them. We only can assume that he's like part hollow because of the mask that always appears when that thing comes out of him. But there's like two because like, his Zanbakuto it is like a person, but then he also has this other thing with him. And yeah, we just don't know anything. And I literally saw that where it was the second time ever against the bounce right now, or the bounds. I don't know the bounce. Um,
Yeah,
and it came out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not Ichigo," and he just fucking slices through it, cuts the thing in half, and it's like a badass. I'm like, dude, I'm like the skill gap. Like I get it because it's like it's probably something special, but like I wish Ichigo felt more confident when he like fought, or like it seemed like more natural. Like he has like two moves, you know, like because that thing even showed him, hey, you can grab the thing on the end and swing it. And he's like, "Oh, that's genius," but then never does it again in the next 80 episodes. So I was saw that and I was like, "Dude, this looks awesome." Blake told me we're gonna learn all about it. I hope that's soon. I thought that was in the first part, bro. Not Thousand Year Blood War. Are you kidding me? They blue balls for
yeah,
that
dude.
long?
Ichigo falls into like a lot of the MC tropes that are annoying, like meets baddie, gets his ass kicked, like power up, close fight but wins. Like I feel like a lot of Ichigo's stuff can be like
Predicted.
stereotypical in a way, but it is really good. But yeah, it does take a while for us to like actually get the story behind it, but it is so worth it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it right now. I'm just a little upset we're not gonna learn about all this stuff until Thousand Year Blood War, but
And
that's
like
gonna make the
fucking
get.
like the other captains and stuff, like the Bankai is like the end all be all best ultimate move. As soon as Ichigo sees like any tension, he's just like, all right, Bankai, let's go. Just like yeah,
Wait,
he
does
literally is
he?
like
I like that then. I like that. So that's the thing I'm thinking to myself now. Like, why aren't they using these special moves? Like, if you have a Bankai, why aren't you using it? Well, right now he can't. Like his body's out of harmony, so he like doesn't have access to it conveniently. But I was like, why wouldn't
oh
they always
yeah.
just go straight to it? You know, why would you play with your food and risk getting killed instead of just being like ultimate move? If you survive it, well, I'm fucked either way. But if not, perfect. So I'm actually kind of glad that they do that or that he does that.
For me it's like the like Jujutsu Kaisen. I would be using my domain literally anytime I was in a fight. It'd be like, yeah, go right to it. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
yeah, Ichigo does that. It's kind of funny how like everyone else it's like a last resort almost, and he's
Mhm.
just like, yep, Bankai, slight inconvenience, Bankai.
Dude, I love that. So yeah, I cannot wait. I think that's a genius idea doing a little before and after, you know, before we watch it and then kind of afterwards. I think that's going to be awesome. I got a buddy who's like obsessed with Bleach, so I cannot wait to hear his
Sick.
opinions about it too and kind of what he thinks as well. Like I'm hyped. Like it's going to be really cool. I'm actually going to like start to pay a bit more attention, like, hammer it in more. You know what I mean? Give it a little bit more love so we can get there quicker. Because like when I made that video for the 2024 anime recap, uh, seeing the animation quality for like getting
That's
a
the
couple
biggest thing.
clips, like just watching the
It's
trailer, blown away.
I forget what episode. It's one of the beginning ones. Like once you really get into like the main villain,
Yeah.
literally some of the coldest animation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's maybe the biggest jump in quality I've ever seen in an anime of that like caliber.
Yeah, for real. It's like it's not the same anime. It's not at all. It's absolutely insane. How long is Thousand Year Blood War, by the way?
I want to say like 36 episodes. I think we're on our second or third like core.
Okay,
I
awesome.
stopped watching it because I just want to watch it in one like super bingeable chunk.
Dude, I mean, that's literally what I'm gonna have to do too. I'm probably gonna
And I
take like
mean,
a couple of days and just watch it nonstop and just not sleep, eat, or go to the bathroom. It's 40
Bleach is
episodes right
like,
now.
all right, 40, okay. Like it's easy enough. You know Ichigo's gonna win at the end of the day. It's a shonen, but like the characters they bring back and the maneuvers they use to get there, incredible.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, ton of sleepers. We're talking about some larger animes as well. All right, but now let's switch over. Let's get into Honey Lemon Soda. Honestly, I'm loving this because I don't know. It's just one of the feel good animes, but like it has a lot of twists to it. It's not like the stereotypical version of it that like can be kind of repetitive or annoying or obnoxious, right? You got the girl, sweetheart, so sweet, no, that's done no wrong, but yet a group of bitches just want to like bully her, throw shit at her, makes her cry all the time. It's awful, and they call her Stony because she shows no emotion. She's crying every 15 minutes. What do you mean she shows no emotion? You heartless
I
asshole!
know.
Like what the fuck? Like oh look at Stony run away and cry. No emotions, just standing still. Like you make no sense. You're dumb as shit. You're dumb as a pile of rocks, sweetie. Like unbelievable. But I mean, it's just heartbreaking to see. But then anytime someone helps her out or like she grows, it just is like the best feel good moment ever, which is why I absolutely love it. But it's not like you have that like what is that anime? It's like kind of like that, but it's on like Netflix. It's like I don't know. It's annoying though because the guy is like kind of like sweet to her and he's like just like perfect. You know what I mean? But then they have that problem where like she feels like oh he's too good for her and that like she's a burden so like she keeps pushing him away and you have this like back and forth and it's like I don't know, one step forward, two steps back for like 3 seasons, and it's so annoying. This isn't like that though, because like he doesn't let her do that. You know what I mean? Like they chase her down when she tries to leave after school, but she's like, "Oh, they're going to go hang out. All right, I'll go home." And they chase her down, like, "What the fuck? Like he wants to hang out with you. Like let's hang." You know what I mean? Like the fact that he's like I guess that he's kind of tsundere. You know what I mean? It kind of
Oh
makes
yeah.
it kind of makes it fun. It kind of makes it interesting, and it doesn't make it annoying. It feels like it's progressing forward instead of having steps back.
That's a really good point. Like it is about Ishimori's like coming of age and like kind of breaking out of her
Mm-hmm.
shell, which I think it's very easy to root for an MC like that. The faces I think are done really well artistically. Like Ishimori, her dad, and Miura, the male MC, have like very vibrant, like beautiful yellow eyes. Like stuff like that. I think in a like a rom com or a slice
Mm-hmm.
of life makes it easy to like just sit back and kind of enjoy.
Yeah,
But like the plot, even though we've only had a couple episodes, like she is moving forward. She's kind of going through a lot, but like we're starting to build our cast. She's got some good friends and like um I actually loved in the second episode they like pass her the basketball and she basically no hesitation just waxes everybody like LeBron Ishimori and then hits the shot and everyone's like, "Yo, she's sick at sports." Like
yo, I was like,
little
dude, Chinatsu, she got isekai to another
yes,
anime.
yes. I thought that was awesome and like kind of unexpected, but like she's getting these little wins and starting to make friends and like kind of
Mhm.
settle into her school despite constantly having these issues with those three
Yeah,
annoying girls and like now they're boyfriends. But yeah, having Miura kind of stand up for her and be like just a good friend. I think he reacted a certain way when Miura's friend was like, "I think she's cute." Like he kind of gives him that look like, "Back off, dude." But he doesn't
yeah.
say anything. Like I think he's starting to like kind of fall into that role. Like there's maybe some sparks there, but even for 2 episodes, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so fun to watch. I was dying. I don't know if you saw it. Okay, so you remember in the beginning? Let's do a little recap because some people like to like hear our little like recaps of what's going on with some of the episodes, even if they don't watch the animes. So pretty much, she is going to like a lesser school, a school that's very easy to go into. She's very smart, right? And the reason why she went there is because on the flyer, everyone looks like they're having fun, and that's what she wants. She wants to have fun, right? She doesn't care about going to some school where it's super strict and then everyone's like miserable, right? So the one day she's getting bullied by those bitches when they meet her outside of school, and her stuff gets like dropped or it's knocked down, and she's like crying, or she's about to cry, and the MC, the male MC, helps pick up her stuff. He's like, "Oh, that's a cool school. I think you should go there because that's where I'm going," and that's why she ends up going there. Lo and behold, day one, someone's making fun of him, and he sprays them down with his lemon soda, which he famously loves. Misses them and hits her. So that's what kind of started that interaction again. You know what I mean? Just like some weird twist of fate, and it was so cool. And then, of course, he's sweet about it. She goes and gets changed because her clothes are soaked. Goes into class. She's like, oh, I'm going to be so weird. I'm the only one with gym clothes. He's also wearing gym clothes. Bro, like, when I saw that shit, I couldn't just help but smile. Like, so many moments in there just really help you, like, just make you smile. It's like, oh, dude, that's, like, so fucking sweet. But the part where I think is really funny is that, well, that comes full circle. Because he keeps telling her, like, yo, stick up for yourself. Like, if someone's bullying you, someone's making fun of you, go get somebody and say you need help. Ask for help. She's like, oh, who would I say that to? He's like, me. Right? So they end up bullying her in the hallway again. And she has a lemon soda, so she does the same thing. And of course, they end up like, "Oh, you bitch!" And they kind of like go at her, and he steps in. He's like, "Yo, if you got a problem with her, you got to go through me." And if you look closely in the background, the pink-haired girl is like making this like monstrous, scary face, like fuck you up. And I'm like, bro, that shit had me crying. Like you said, like a lot of like their facial expressions, like the little details, like dude, they're so funny. There's a lot of details in the anime where if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it, and they're just so funny when you see them. Though they're awesome.
Yeah, like little stuff like that. Like if you don't watch it, it's hard to kind of understand like why it's so like
Yeah.
sweet. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Miura's a really good character, even though he comes off with that like tsundere type personality. He's like kind of cold to his friends, but he's not. He is a really good friend.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, I think is just so easy to kind of latch onto, and the MC's easy to root for too, especially because like you said in the beginning, she's done nothing wrong, deserves absolutely
Yeah.
none of this, but it's just like an easy target because she can't stick up for herself. So, like the instance in the hallway, and then even with the boyfriends in episode 2, like kind of him helping her, you know, ask for help. You know what I mean? Reach out to your friends, like stick up for yourself. Like it's very easy to like enjoy, and you really want to root for Ishimori.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's awesome, and like the friend group too is like very cool. So you have that cool dynamic with him because like again the tsundere makes it kind of like interesting because it doesn't have that like two nice people trying to be nice, but then also like being weird. It's like with magnets, you know what I mean? Where you have like the same like I forget what it's called, charge, but you try to put them together and they just kind of like repel away. It's kind of like that you kind of see in those animes, but since he's like kind of like tsundere, kind of like a dickhead, you have that connection. Like it works and it just feels good and it just is right. And then his friend group's so dope because the pink haired girl is kind of like not the brightest, right? She's at that school
Yeah.
for a reason, and she needed help with one problem, and the one girl was like, the main MC was like, oh, do I give her the answer, or is like that mean, or is that like rude? Like he said to ask a friend, but am I a friend? And then he ends up helping. She ends up helping her, and like she's like, oh my god, like you're the best, like you're awesome. Like she's like that kind of girl, like doesn't give a fuck, is like friends with everybody, and is like super kind. And I feel like that's such a good friend for her to have because like she kind of like will stick up for her, kind of like involves her in things. And I'm like, the one dude seems really nice too because he kind of like softens out the male MC's like rough edges. You know what I mean? Where it's like
So
he
true.
doesn't mean that. Like he actually wants to spend time with you, and he's like, oh, like I'll give you guys some time. Like you go walk her to her house. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the whole cast is very good. You know what I mean?
That's a really, really good point. Like the dynamic of the friend group, the four
Mm-hmm.
or five of them, however many it is, they're awesome and they're like really good friends. And I feel like that group will help her grow and kind of like achieve some of these dreams that she's talking about. And even Miura is like, all the stuff you want to accomplish is like very cheap and very easy. He's like, I'll do it without breaking a sweat. And you're like, oh. The Rizzler, so good.
I love how he's like trying to like help her, like stick up for her too. But it's like her dreams are like, oh, I want to stay out late, and he's like, bro, like I'm not your dad. Your dad's like an absolute phenomenal guy. Like, don't have him worry. You know what I mean? Part of him was to help her, but part of him's like, don't be like a rebel and like worry people. Like, there's people in your life that care about you, whether you realize it or not. You know what I mean? So him having that kind of contradiction was kind of cool. But like literally at the end too, like when he like has her like she like leaves and like, he gives her hat, his hat. Like, there's so many sweet moments. I literally just wrote kawaii. I'm like, dude, this anime is
Yeah,
just so fucking cute, man. It just has so many great moments. You know what I mean?
so true. And like, it's really only just getting into it. So I think like, if you have any kind of like, what's the word?
I don't know.
I'm drawing a total blank. Yeah, I'm just like asking you to read
Throw
my
out some
mind.
random words. I'll figure it out. I got this.
It's not. If you have an affinity, there we go. Look at us using
I
our vocab.
never would have fucking got that.
It took me a while, honestly.
I have no idea what it means.
Like if you have like an affinity for like rom-coms or like, you know,
Oh, like a
just like a
liking.
general, yeah, just like a general enjoyment of this kind of
Yeah.
genre. I think this is perfect. It's very easy to watch, and like we've kind of brought this up at other points in the pod. Like we have some like heavy hitters or like really action-packed stuff or dark stuff like
Hmm.
Solo Leveling. Like it's a nice juxtaposition, something you can just kind of throw on and watch and kind of relax like before bed or something. And yeah, it makes you feel good. I think it's off to a really good start. And I want to say it's on Wednesdays or Thursdays. We love an off-day anime because we know Saturday's competitive.
It is actually on Wednesday. It is on Wednesday, which
Wednesday.
is nice. Dude,
Let's go.
there's like a lot of like off days are kind of stacked. Thursday's kind of stacked too with Doctor Stone, Blue Box, and Dying Dream.
Sick.
Yeah, it's just
Love it.
Fridays that are stacked. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays are like holy shit, crazy. We did have Fate on Tuesday, but Fate kind of left us. Thanks, Fate. Love you too.
Typical.
Yeah.
Typical Fate enjoyer
Oh,
moment.
by the way, like this is kind of confusing too. Not to get totally off track and go on for 2 hours here. Someone did comment about the whole Fate thing. So apparently the round table, I think the new like King Arthur isn't actually King Arthur. It's someone else from the round table who can also just summon Excalibur. So it's
Ah,
not the actual guy, but one of the guy's guys. You know what I mean? And also it can, and this makes sense because of what's it called? What's the one with Arrow? What's that one called again?
Archer.
Oh, Archer. Fuck. What was that one to go with Archer where it was actually the dude who just grown up.
Emiya. Oh, Unlimited Blade Works. Yeah, because I could
Unlimited Blade
remember
Works.
like the on the bone of my sword, but so good.
Yeah. So apparently, what it's saying too is that the Grail can summon the seen and unseen heroes of history. So like that kind of plays into it as well. So that kind of helps
I've never,
explain the two King Arthurs that we thought.
yeah, I've never read any of the visual novels or like manga, so like I wouldn't be as well versed as somebody who like has read, but that definitely
Yeah.
makes sense because like they literally tell you nothing. They don't
Yeah.
want you to fucking understand the story. Just be like, ooh, ah, and I am.
They just throw you in, and it's just like, hey, it's good enough where you can just follow along. Be like, okay, like I'll pretend like I understand that, and we'll figure it out later.
And like it's just one of those series where like the series themselves are like spin-offs or in different
Hmm.
time periods. So it's like it's not like you have one, two, three very easy watch order, but
Yeah,
it's badass. Looks amazing.
yeah. But anyways, we've been going on for a minute because there's just so much to talk about. I mean, the season's
I know.
absolutely spectacular. Is there anything you want to say before we close out here?
Definitely check out some of these sleepers. I think we gotta. It's really easy to like get into like
Hmm.
something like Solo Leveling or Sakamoto Days, but I think we got some good sleepers here. I'm excited to see how they play out.
Yeah, especially Sakamoto Days because it's saying it had a rough start. I mean, who said that? Who put that at 5 and said that kind of slander? Absolutely insane. So I hope
Big
Sakamoto
harem
Days.
enjoyer.
Yeah, seriously, a big harem enjoyer. Yeah, so hopefully Sakamoto Days absolutely dominates, has a great season 1, and says fuck you to that guy.
Hell
Unbelievable.
yeah, definitely.
But alright, that is it, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about a ton more anime. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoy, and peace.